Hello, BookTube. This is my July 2026 TBR. It's the books that interest me, but I haven't yet spoken about on this channel in any other platform through hauls or anything like that. So the first one is Butter by Asako Yuzuki, and it's about a female serial killer who lures men in by her cooking and then she kills them. So the reason why this is fascinating to me is because food for me is history, anthropology, culture, sociology. It's all of these different things contained in the ingredients that you find on your plate every day. So just to give you a personal example, we had Austrian master students who were coming to do Crown Eagle research, and they stayed with my fiance's family. They found breakfast to be very confusing, and they asked, is this a South African thing? So we were having, because you get white maize and yellow maize, and we were having maize with sugar, milk, and berries. And they were finding it difficult to conceptualize maize as being sweet, and certainly for breakfast as well. So again, they asked, is it a South African thing? And my uncle in law and me were just looking very confused. And my uncle in law just vocalized what I was thinking, which is, when there were international sanctions on South Africa, this is what we had, so this is what we ate. It's literally that simple. And you have food shortages for a lot of different reasons. It can be things as extreme as war, international sanctions, a lot of different things. But it can also be that we've got various agricultural hubs within South Africa. If there's road closures because of natural disaster, or if it's things like that, you just won't get certain kinds of food. And I also come from an agricultural family, so we just believe in the philosophy that if it's not in season, we don't eat it. You wait until it is in season. And yeah, because we need to monitor our carbon footprints and not be not do that to the environment. So I also have a veggie garden in my backyard, and I eat from there, and I'm very cognizant of how long it takes things to grow. And so I minimize food wastage and that kind of thing. But obviously I'm not here to preach. I'm just saying I find food to be fascinating, and that's why I'm interested in this book. So the second one is An Orchestra of Minorities, and this is by Chigozie Obioma. I don't know if I'm like being racist or xenophobic. But anytime I see a Nigerian author, and I don't know where I get this perception, but I'm like, right, this is going to be a banger of a book. This is going to be a stunning. And again, I've read like what one Nigerian author, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, I think. So I'm South African, and I've lived in Africa my entire life. So I don't know. I've just never really been exposed to a lot of other African authors because I think the South African education system has failed a lot of us. So, anyway, this is a retelling of the Odyssey, and it's with Igbo mythologies and things like that. So, again, I'm just trying to see the lived experiences of other people from the African continent because, within my life, South African experiences have been centered. Then the third one is on a similar vein, and it's The Smallest Ones by Popina Khumanda. And this is two sisters fleeing the DRC so they're fleeing the rebels in the DRC, and this is in the early 2000s. I believe it's the M23, but I could be corrected. Now the thing is, I know Congolese people within my personal life, and it's related to the struggles that they faced. The South African National Defence Force, I know, also went into the DRC and intervened in certain conflicts. And yeah, I've seen certain people online say things like it shouldn't be African authors' job to educate you about Africa. And I find myself scratching my head and wondering, okay, so what else must I do then? Because I don't have the means to fly to Nigeria or the DRC and to necessarily interview people like a journalist. I just don't have the means for that. And even if I do that, I'm still asking people to relive their traumas by asking them or by interviewing them. And it would be the same thing if I just asked my colleague about certain experiences. It is traumatic for them. So why must they relive that? They don't owe me that. So for me, a book is the starting point, and from there I can obviously learn a lot more and maybe work in activism and things like that. But I do find some people to be very chronically online and very out of touch when they say, no, it's not a book's job to educate you. Then, anyway, okay, so this fourth one is 101 Remarkable South African Women from Prehistory to the Present by Lizette Rabe. Okay. I flipped through this in the bookshop, 101 Remarkable South African Women, and I knew like one, if that. So again, it's absolutely terrible. The education system has failed us and all that. But after a point, I've been out of school for enough time now. It's my job to educate myself now. So the fifth one is Pick a Color by Souvankham Thammavongsa. And this is you are in a nail salon and you get to hear the conversations of everybody. So the people who are getting their nails done and obviously the nail technicians. Within South Africa, it's not the dynamic that other people describe out from overseas. But apparently overseas you get like Filipino woman doing the nails of American woman and speaking Tagalog, and there's a lot of layers of oppression there. And again, it's just a microcosm of what's happening on the international stage. So that to me just sounds very interesting. The sixth one is Mysticism, Christian and Buddhist by Dr. Suzuki. And again, I find mysticism to be fascinating. There's nothing really else to say. Okay, the next one is Diamonds, Dispossession and Democracy in Botswana, and this is by Kenneth Good. I saw this at a second-hand bookshop and I thought it might be interesting because the diamond industry is just relentless. And when it came to getting my engagement ring, I do not believe in supporting the mining industry or the diamond industry and that cruelty that has been so well documented. Oh, sorry, the camera lens is there. So I opted for sterling silver and amethyst instead. And I think just to get a sense of how the diamond industry in Botswana affects South Africa, because all African economies are connected. So I think this book might give me quite an insight. And if I can't find it, then I don't know what I'm gonna do, because I saw it at the secondhand bookshop but I didn't buy it. So whoops. And the last one is Clock In by Emily Durham, and she talks about the workplace and that kind of thing online. I find her humor to be fascinating. I think that she's fantastic. So she released a book. I love reading, so I'm going to read it, and it's as simple as that. So that's my TBR for now, and I hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe if you want. Happy reading.